Hi, this is Brendan from Watto Training, and in this tutorial we take a look at confined spaces. The information provided in these confined spaces training notes is intended as a general guide to support your learning with Watto Training. While every effort has been made to ensure accuracy and relevance, the content does not replace official legislation, industry standards, or specific workplace procedures. It is your responsibility to follow the requirements of current laws, codes of practice, and your employer's safety protocols. Watto Training accepts no liability for any loss or damage arising from the use of this information. Procedures and precautions for entry into confined spaces in the road transport industry. In the road transport industry, confined spaces include areas such as fuel tankers, refrigerated trailers, cargo containers, pits, and maintenance pits, where there is a risk of hazardous atmospheres, restricted entry and exit, or other safety hazards. Employers and workers must follow strict procedures and precautions when entering these confined spaces to ensure workplace safety and compliance with Australian work health and safety regulations. 1. Definition of a confined space in road transport. A confined space is an area that is not designed for continuous human occupancy, has restricted entry and exit, has the potential for dangerous atmospheres, oxygen deficiency, or engulfment hazards. Examples in the road transport industry include fuel tanker compartments, cargo containers with restricted airflow, underground pits in transport depots, maintenance pits under heavy vehicles, refrigerated trailers with limited ventilation. 2. Procedures for safe entry into confined spaces. Step 1. Risk assessment and planning. Before entering a confined space, conduct a risk assessment to identify potential hazards such as oxygen deficiency or toxic gases, e.g. fuel vapors, carbon monoxide, flammable or explosive atmospheres, physical hazards, e.g. falls, engulfment, moving parts, extreme temperatures, e.g. refrigerated containers. Step 2. Obtain a confined space entry permit. A confined space entry permit must be issued before entry. This document must include details of the confined space location and description, identified hazards and risk control measures, list of authorised personnel entering the space, required safety equipment and communication methods, duration of entry and emergency procedures. Step 3. Ventilation and atmospheric testing. Test the air quality using a gas detector before entry. Ensure oxygen levels are safe, 19.5% to 23.5%. Remove hazardous gases and vapors by ventilating the space. Continue monitoring the atmosphere while workers are inside. Step 4. Use of personal protective equipment, PPE. Workers entering a confined space must wear respiratory protection if required, harnesses and safe lines if rescue is needed, gloves, helmets and eye protection, hearing protection for noisy confined spaces. Step 5. Standby person and communication. A trained standby person must remain outside the confined space to monitor workers and initiate rescue if needed. Workers inside must maintain constant communication via two-way radios, hand signals, and visual contact. Step 6. Safe work procedures inside the confined space. Follow entry and exit procedures strictly. Avoid hot work, e.g. welding, grinding, unless specifically approved. Keep exits clear and have a planned evacuation route. Limit time inside to reduce exposure to potential hazards. Step 7. Emergency and rescue procedures. Ensure a confined space rescue plan is in place before entry. Have rescue equipment ready, including harnesses and retrieval systems, first aid kits, oxygen resuscitation equipment. Ensure emergency response personnel are trained and available. 3. Precautions for confined space entry in the road transport industry. For fuel tankers and cargo containers, check for toxic fumes, flammable vapors, and oxygen levels before entry. Use explosion-proof lighting and tools. Ensure all hatches and vents are open for ventilation. For maintenance pits and underground areas, guard against falls by using barriers and warning signs. Ensure proper lighting and ventilation. Be cautious of moving vehicles and equipment. For refrigerated trailers, test for low oxygen levels and CO2 buildup. Limit time inside to prevent cold stress and frostbite. 4. Legal requirements and compliance. Under Australian work health and safety laws, employers must provide training on confined space entry and rescue procedures. Maintain records of confined space entry permits. Conduct regular inspections and risk assessments. Ensure safe procedures align with Safe Work Australia's Code of Practice. 5. Conclusion. Confined space entry in the road transport industry is a high-risk task that requires strict safety procedures, appropriate equipment, and trained personnel. By following these procedures and precautions, transport companies can minimize risks, ensure worker safety, and comply with workplace health and safety regulations.